For years, my family told me, there's no room for your kids. Yet my sister's twins and their dog always had a spot. I stayed silent. But this year I bought a penthouse in New York. When they said, we're packing our bags, my response left them speechless. For years, I played the reliable, accommodating brother, always making room for everyone else, even if it meant my own kids were left out in the cold. But when I finally bought the perfect place, a stunning new apartment, my sister's response sent a chill down my spine. And in that moment, I knew everything was about to change forever. Hey everyone, Michael here. You know, I'm 35, a divorced dad to Jonah, who's 9, and Ava, 6. My day job? Front desk administrator at a busy hotel in Midtown. And let me tell you, that job taught me things. I can charm and upgrade out of a guest without a single fight, soothe a bridezilla at 2 a.m., and get gum out of anything. My whole life, people handed me their problems, and I'd quietly fix them. That was just me. At home, it was a quiet, organized life in Queens. My ex, Tasha, and I were a solid co-parenting team. We weren't friends, but we were a united front for the kids. Then there's my sister, Lily. She's the glitter version of me, big laughs, even bigger ideas. My mom calls her our star, while I'm just reliable, said with the same tone you'd use for a decent vacuum cleaner. My dad, he just asked me to carry the heavy things. Lily has her twins, Theo and Piper, and a golden retriever, Mocha, who sheds like a snow globe. And for years, at every single family holiday, I heard the same exact sentence, always delivered with a soft smile. There's no room for your kids. Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, 4th of July, new excuses, same message. The basement was full of donations, the guest room set up for the twins. Mocha needed a quiet space. But there was always room for Lily's kids and the dog. Mocha even got a stocking one year. My kids? A quick porch hug and a to-go plate. I swallowed it. That's what I did. I called it logistics. We'd stop by early, pack coloring books, keep the car warm. I'd take photos in the driveway, because the living room was already staged for everyone else. I kept telling myself, next year it'll be different. But next year just never showed up. It started long before the apartment, this feeling of never quite belonging. The very first year I brought Jonah, he was just a baby. Mom said, just stop by for hugs, honey. It's pure chaos with the twins. We got there, and 2 high chairs were already set at the table, complete with place cards. Theo, Piper. I bounced baby Jonah on my knee in the hallway by the coat closet, while Lily just laughed. Oh my God, we totally forgot your little guy needs to sit, too. My dad mumbled, we'll make do. Then Mocha jumped into his lap, and suddenly, nobody was moving the dog. Christmas after that, Mom called a week early. Full house, sweetheart. Come at 8 for coffee, presents are at 10. We left at 9:30. Through the window, I could see the tree, and the twins in their matching pajamas. I told Jonah we'd do gifts at home. He was too little to know the difference. But I knew. The excuses mutated. The basement's mid-Reno. Your kids don't sleep well in new places. The twins are on a strict routine. The truth? It was simple. The available room was a moral compass that always pointed directly at Lily. It wasn't just space, it was money. Always these little things. Lily's texts would be cheerful invoices. Can you grab the twins' robotics kit? I'll pay you back Friday. $119, never came. Sitter canceled. Can you cover the deposit for the backup? You're a lifesaver. $75. Theo's inhaler copay is ridiculously high. Love you. $62. Mom's version was always softer. Don't worry your sister right now. We're juggling so much. Dad's was older, more firm. Family helps. My version? It was my bank app at midnight. A spreadsheet named Lilyu that I kept for 3 months before closing it, because it just made me furious to even look at. At work, I was the master of making people feel welcome. Of course, we have space. Absolutely, let me see what I can do. I'd comp upgrades, make room out of thin air. And I carried that skill right into my family, by mistake. I just moved things around inside myself until everyone fit except me. It looked like generosity, but really, it was just erosion. The worst scenes were always the small ones. Easter. Jonah walks in, proudly holding a dyed egg in a paper cup. Mom takes it, smiles, and sets it on a side table behind a lamp where no one would see it. The twins made 12, she said, like that explained physics. Thanksgiving. Ava sits on the floor with her plate because there's no seat. Dad says, well, she's young. Gravity works different at 6. Lily taped Mocha's art, a gold paw print, onto the fridge and laughed when I noticed. He's family, she said. I tried to raise the topic once. Calm numbers. We drive an hour. We come early. We leave before dinner. It's hard. Mom sighed. Oh, Michael, you're making everything heavy. Lily chimed in. Don't guilt trip me because your kids are high energy. They're children, I said. Exactly, she said, smiling. I tried small boundaries. Please ask before you use my Amazon. Please don't add my card to Instacart. Please don't send me Venmo requests with no explanation. Lily replied with thumbs up emojis, then did all 3 in a row. Once I saw a delivery tip for an address that wasn't mine. She said, it was an accident. It kept being an accident. Why didn't I just blow up? Because blowing up would be the story, and I'd be the villain. My mother has this way of holding her breath that makes you feel like you broke something expensive, something irreplaceable. So I learned to make repairs before the break. I picked quiet because quiet is lighter to carry. I told myself it wasn't personal. My son asked, "Why can't we sleep at Grandma's?" And I'd just say, "We'll have our own fun," pretending he didn't hear his cousin shout from inside the house, while Mocha wore a scarf. Then this spring, everything changed. I got promoted. Nothing dramatic, just a bump, a bonus, and a chance to move closer to the hotel. I found a place that didn't even seem real the first time I stepped inside. A top-floor duplex in this tired, old building that someone had finally loved back to life. People called it a penthouse. I called it sunlight. 2 balconies, a line of sky, enough room for bunk beds, and a table that didn't wobble. This was it. This was for us. I signed the papers on a Tuesday, sat on the floor with Chinese takeout, and watched the city blink. I sent one photo to the family chat. Mom wrote 20 exclamation points. Dad wrote, "Proud of you, son." Lily wrote, "OMG." And then Lily added, "We're packing our things right now." That's when I felt the old knot twist, and then, strangely, loosen. I set my chopsticks down and typed back, slowly. "This isn't a hotel. We're not doing that." The call came before my phone even hit the table. It was Lily. "Haha, you're funny. When should we bring the playpen?" she chirped. "You shouldn't," I said. Her voice sharpened. "Lily, we can use the second bedroom. The twins don't mind sharing. I'll put Mocha's bed by the balcony. He loves fresh air." And I just said, "There is no Mocha bed here." Silence. Then offense. "You're serious?" "Yes." "But Michael, we're family." "Exactly," I told her. "That's exactly why I'm telling you the truth." She made this little sound, like she was deciding which strategy to try. "Pity. Our landlord is impossible. We just need a landing pad. A month, 2 max. I can host dinners," I said. "Not households." "You're punishing me for Mom's rules," she shot back. "This is about the holidays, isn't it?" "No," I said. "This is about my home." Then Mom jumped in on a 3-way call, like she'd been waiting behind a curtain. "Michael, I'm hearing you're refusing to help." "Hi, Mom," I said, using my calm front desk voice. The one that makes drunks hand back their room keys. "I'm stating a boundary." "Boundaries are trendy," she said, like they were ridiculous boots. "They're also real," I replied. "You have space," she insisted, bright and reasonable. "We don't. It's simple math." "It's my space," I said. "That's the math." She tried the old line. "We've always made room for Lily's family because they have more moving parts." "I have 2 moving parts," I said. "They're called children." "Your kids are loud at night," she said gently. "The twins sleep like angels." "Mocha barks at air," I shot back. "And we keep pretending that's adorable." "Don't be cruel," she snapped, the word like a slap. "I'm being clear," I told her. Dad clicked on late. "What's all this?" he asked, like he'd walked into a movie after the good part. "Your son bought a penthouse and doesn't want us in it," Mom declared, cranking up the martyrdom. "It's an apartment," I corrected. "And I don't want you living in it." Lily's voice sharpened. "We helped you, Michael." "How?" I asked. "Support," she said. "We babysat twice last year. And I sent you $1,200 since January." I blurted, before I could stop myself. "Receipts on request." Mom inhaled sharply, like I'd cursed. "No one is shifting blame," she said. Translation, you told the truth out loud. Lily pivoted. "Fine, not permanent. Just Thanksgiving. We'll host it at yours. It'll make up for everything." "No," I said. "Non-negotiable." Mom floated the words like balloons. "It's entirely negotiable," I said. "And I'm saying no. Because you want revenge for all the no-room years." I looked at the empty wall where a clock would go. I pictured Jonah and Ava, their backpacks, the way they run into a new room like it owes them nothing and everything at once. "This isn't about revenge," I said, my voice steady. "It's about closure. And boundaries." Dad tried the deadline card. "Family helps. Family also respects." I countered. Lily sighed dramatically. "You're going to regret this." "I'm going to assemble bunk beds," I said. "Michael," Mom said, her voice low. "If you shut us out, don't expect us to show up when you need us." I thought about the porch hugs, the to-go plates, the dog stockings. I thought about the last time show up meant more than a caption. "I won't," I said, and I ended the call. My hands shook the way they do after a difficult guest finally leaves the front desk. My heart banged against my ribs like a bad checkout. I sat on the floor and just let it happen. Then I stood, grabbed the hex key, and finished those bunk beds. Jonah's blue blanket on the top, Ava's unicorn pillow on the bottom. I texted a photo to Tasha. She wrote, "Looks like a home." I wrote back, "It will be." The first week was a chorus of guilt, threats, and logistics, then back to guilt. I kept my phone on silent, answered only when I had the bandwidth. "Mom, your grandmother asked why you're excluding family traditions." "Me. We're creating our own." "Mom, you sound cold." "Me. I sound clear." "Lily, can you at least store a few boxes until January?" "Me. No storage." "We'll pay you." "Me, no." "Dad, your mother is upset." "Me. I know." At work, I started practicing my yes elsewhere. Yes, we can get you a late checkout. Yes, I'll print your boarding pass. Yes, we'll bring extra towels. It felt good to be generous in a place built for it. Coming home to a door I locked and a rule I kept felt like rinsing my brain. Lily's lease actually ended. She pushed harder. Just 2 nights while movers figure out the truck. I offered a hotel discount code. She said I was being corporate. She showed up anyway, with a pallet and 6 Rubbermaid bins. The doorman called. Sir, a delivery is insisting it belongs to you. I went downstairs. There was Lily in athleisure, the twins climbing a stack of boxes, Mocha wearing a bandana that said City Boy. Don't be dramatic, she said. It's temporary. You ignored me, I said. Because you're being unreasonable. I turned to the doorman. It's not mine. You're really going to do this? She asked, eyes wet. I already did, I told her. People watched. That's the worst part of boundaries, the audience. But no one booed. A man held the door and pretended to check his mail for a long time. The twins looked confused. Mocha tried to lick a sign about no animals. It was almost funny. Lily called Mom on speaker. He's refusing to help. Mom said, Michael, compromise. 1 suitcase each for 2 nights, I said. That's the compromise. You brought a gym. Lily's friend with a van came. They left angry. But anger, I realized, is easier to carry than boxes. That first weekend with Jonah and Ava in the new place, we did everything wrong, and it was perfect. We ate pizza on the floor, watched 5 cartoon episodes in a row, made hot cocoa way too sweet. I showed them the view. Jonah pressed his forehead to the glass. Is this all ours? He whispered. It is when you're here, I said. Ava piped up. Even the sky? Borrowed, like a library book, I told her. She accepted that. Sunday night, they slept like butter. I sat on the balcony and let the city noise decide what it wanted to be. Someone played a trumpet badly. It sounded like trying. Then the holiday planning messages started again. Mom, so Thanksgiving at your place. I'll bring the turkey. Lily will handle sides. You just make space. I typed, no. She typed, we already told the twins. I typed, tell them plans changed. Lily, we're doing it there. You'll thank us later. I wrote back. If you show up with food or a dog, you won't get upstairs. She wrote, you're not serious. I sent a screenshot of the building's pet policy. Wow. On Thanksgiving morning, the doorman rang. Mr. Rivera, there's a family here with a dog and many pies. I went down. Mom held a casserole like a peace treaty. Lily carried a roast pan like a threat. The twins bounced. Mocha wore boots. Surprise. Mom chirped. No, I said. We're not doing this. Don't make a scene. I'm preventing one, I replied. The kids will be crushed, she said, nodding toward the twins like props. I crouched to their eye level. Hey guys, Saturday, 11 a.m. The big park with the dinosaur bones. Hot chocolate. Deal. They nodded. Kids are resilient when adults stop using them as levers. I stood up, looked at Mom, at Lily, at the dog's boots. Happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you Saturday. We ate chicken upstairs because turkey is too much bird for 3. Jonah said the bubbles in the seltzer made it feel like a party. Ava spilled cranberry sauce and cried, thinking she ruined the carpet. It's a rug, I told her. We clean rugs. We watched the parade replay on my phone, judging floats like experts. It was stupid, and it was perfect. Mom's captions that day were all about gratitude. No trace of conflict, no video of the lobby. That's how family PR works. It used to bother me. But this time, it just rolled off me because my kids were licking whipped cream off spoons, and my sink had 1 pan in it instead of 20 dishes I'd wash, while everyone said thank you around me. December brought a new wave of asks, all dressed as traditions. Cookie exchange at yours. No. Twin caroling party on your balcony. Absolutely not. Mocha hates fireworks. Can we use your place on New Year's so he feels calm? The dog can meditate, I thought in my head. Then I typed simply, no. The pushback came in standard phrases. You've changed. Money went to your head. We missed the old Michael. The old Michael was always available. The old Michael said yes, then found a way to survive it. The new Michael said no, then sat in the discomfort until it finally turned into air. Rachel, my ex, noticed. She brought the kids over one Sunday for drop-off. She looked around and whistled. Nice space. Thank you, I said. She looked at me, really looked. You look quiet in your face. I laughed. I finally installed a lock on my life. She high-fived me like we were still good at that. Work bled into home less. I stopped mentally checking people in when my phone buzzed. I even drew a stupid sign for the kitchen, house rules, in my block handwriting, and taped it inside a cabinet where only we'd see it. Bedtime is a promise we keep. We eat at the table or the balcony, not in a rush. We don't apologize for taking up space here. We don't host surprises. The kids added 1 in marker. NOS. I didn't argue. A week before Christmas, Mom tried softness. We got the twins a train set, she said on the phone. They want to share it with Jonah. We'll come to you Saturday. We'll bring cocoa, I said. We'll stop by your place after. She said, we won't stay. We'll see. I replied. We didn't. On Christmas morning, we did something wild. Nothing. The kids and I stayed in pajamas. Pancakes, oranges, wrapping paper stuck to our socks. We FaceTimed Grandma at noon. She panned her camera across a busy living room where Lily's kids built a train across 3 rugs and Mocha wore antlers. Mom said, "We wish you were here." I said, "We're good." Jonah leaned into the camera. "We got a view," he announced. Ava yelled, "We got a balcony." Then they ran away mid-call, because that's what free kids do. Mom looked at me like I'd picked the wrong team. I looked back like I'd finally found mine. Invoices tried to boomerang again. Lily sent a note about shared holiday expenses. I replied, "We didn't share a holiday." She sent a photo of a receipt anyway. I sent back a thumbs-up emoji. And nothing else. If silence could be a locked door, it was. By January, the dust had settled in boring ways. Lily found a bigger rental. Mom started a new hobby group and posted crafting photos like a ceasefire. Dad texted me about the Knicks. The twins asked if Jonah could come to their birthday at a trampoline park. We said yes. They asked if Mocha could visit my place just to see the view. We said no. They survived. And the nicest thing I didn't expect? My home became easy. It stopped being a symbol of conflict and turned into a place where someone leaves a sock under the couch, and you find it 2 days later and laugh instead of sighing. Jonah built a Lego city on the coffee table, and Ava named it Yes Town. I taped their drawings to the fridge and stopped straightening them every time I walked by. The balcony grew a basil plant that actually lived. I stood out there one night and listened to a siren rise and fall, and felt honestly grateful I could choose when to open my door. Here's what I learned, written plain so I don't forget. A boundary is not revenge. It's a home policy. I work in hospitality, and hospitality without policy turns into harm. Welcome is not the same as take whatever you want. The front desk taught me that. My family taught me the rest. I don't need them to agree to make my no valid. I don't need to audit the past to justify the present. The past is obvious if you've lived it. No room for your kids was a door in my face, dressed as a paper wreath. I kept knocking anyway. This year, I stopped and used my own key somewhere else. I sent one final email in January. Not a manifesto, just a simple memo titled, "Going Forward." My apartment is not storage, a crash pad, or a pet-sitting service. Visits are planned, short, and on my calendar. Surprises turn into no. No one uses my address or my accounts without written permission. If an event excludes my kids, I won't attend. No drama. That's the boundary. Love is not measured in square feet or dog boots. Mom wrote back, "Understood." With a period like a sigh. Lily replied, "You're so corporate." And then a week later, asked if I could look over her new lease. I did. I highlighted 3 lines and wrote, "Don't sign until they fix these." She sent back 3 heart emojis, and thank you. I am not a villain in her story. I am a person with a spine. Those can coexist. Last weekend, we all met at the park. The twins and my 2 ran until gravity negotiated with them. Mocha wore a sweater, which I ignored. Mom handed me a thermos like a peace offering. "You look good," she said. "You sound rested." I said, "I am." We watched the kids invent a game with rules that changed every minute, and nobody cried. That felt like a forecast. I walked home with Jonah on one side and Ava skipping on the other. We stopped for bagels. We climbed the stairs. I opened our door. The air inside smelled like cinnamon and warm dust. Jonah yelled, "Yes, town," and dumped Legos back into their world. Ava dragged her stool to the kitchen to help me stir nothing in particular. My phone buzzed with the family chat. Lily posted a photo of her new place and wrote, "Finally, space." Mom wrote, "See, it all works out." Dad wrote, "Game on at 7." I put the phone face down and turned on the kettle. If you want to know what I wrote back to the first message after I sent that skyline photo, the one where Lily said, "We're packing our things right now?" It was 5 words. This isn't a hotel. I mean, more every day. I didn't slam a door. I closed it gently and locked it. Because that's what you do when you finally live inside the life you pay for and care for and cook in. I'm still reliable. I'm still kind. I'm just not a lobby anymore. And there is room here. So much room. For my kids. For our noise. For our small, ordinary holidays where nobody asks us to be quiet in our own house. For a basil plant that refuses to die. For me. On a balcony. Breathing like a man who finally decided the welcome sign on his front door belongs to him.